Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Nerd Camp Sports. Over here from the COC Network, I am Mike Williams, Radja Anthony Ali, and R&B are both in the building. How you gentlemen doing on this Sunday?
Doing fantastic, man. Can't complain. Happy Sunday to everybody. Hopefully, everyone's joining this Denver versus Oklahoma game and all the college sports that's happening.
Doing
All
wonderful,
right,
man. Doing wonderful. I'm blessed and highly favored, brothers.
that's it. That's it. Well, let's get right into it as we're consolidating a little bit today. Um, so we're gonna start off with LeBron James. And
Mm-hmm.
we ain't going to start off with his injury. We're going to start off talking about him getting gangster on Stephen A. Smith. And, for all intended puns of how we're going to do this show moving forward, I'm hoping that Don can start to put those videos in there if they're not copyrighted. But a viral clip had came up of LeBron talking very angrily to Stephen A. Smith, very, very angrily. And, he wasn't going to address it. But once he woke up and seen everything from his agent and all and what have you, he knew that he had to address
You
it.
have a choice.
Right.
So what? And we're all fathers here.
Mm-hmm.
We're all fathers here, and we understand what you have to do to protect your children, no matter how old they get. You're always gonna want to protect your children, right?
Right.
But and my stepson and I have arguments about famous people in their personal lives all the time. When you are famous and you have when you're famous, you don't really have privacy or personal life. You can keep things private, but if you're walking down the street, people gonna go and talk to you. People gonna want to see you. People gonna want to take pictures with you. LeBron James, whether no matter how you want to word it, got his son to LA. They're playing on the same team. They made their history, and he is obviously not primed for the NBA at this moment. As media, including us, it's our job to talk about it. If the kid isn't playing well, then you have to talk about it. It comes with the territory. So I can understand from a father's standpoint of that, but he needed to understand from the player's standpoint. When LeBron will notoriously be known, at least for now, unless he makes another finals, for being 4-6 in the finals. That's what happened. That's what we talk about.
Right.
Your son's numbers when he's playing aren't good. We have to talk about it. So for you to go up there and be very angry and say not so good things, kind of boggles me. It kind of confuses me, because in this case, to me, I don't think you can play both sides. That's just how I see it. I understand him being upset. Who wouldn't be upset? But your kid ain't playing good and should be in the G League. That's till he's ready. Why is he getting the privilege to do both? Because of you, LeBron James.
Right.
What's your take on this one, R&B?
Man, look, I'm a father. My son aspires to play basketball. I'm gonna just say this: to me, I think that's just the territory. It comes with the territory. When you're LeBron James and your son is Bronny James, and things go the way that they went, as far as however anyone wants to say it, nepotism, favoritism, whatever, what I'm saying, it puts a target on your son's back, honestly. What I'm saying? I know a lot of us may be able to sit back and say, what I'm saying, it's not right or anything like that, but it's just sometime, right or wrong, you can't escape reality. And the reality is when you put a target on yourself, you put a target on yourself, and people are gonna shoot at it. And that's just how it goes. I personally don't remember Stephen A ever saying anything that was disrespectful or that warranted the reaction that he got the other night when Brian walked up on him. But at the end of the day, like I said, the reality is, saying LeBron made this bed for him and his son, and now they both have to sleep in it.
Yeah.
And that's what he alluded to before you go, Raj, was after
Mm-hmm.
he went on and he talked about like the night, and he was talking about how LeBron James created this narrative for his son, because LeBron James was the one that said, wherever my son goes, that's where I'm going. Where
Right.
I want to play at least 1 year with my son. So that's what he was alluding to primarily in that conversation. Just for substance. Go ahead, Raj.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I understand because, like you mentioned, we're all the fathers. We're all going to protect our kids, no matter how long. Uh, no matter how old they are, as long as we're on this planet, we're always going to have that type of feeling, and we're always going to show that type of parenting. But what gets me is that LeBron, I don't know. I always criticize his stuff off the court. I think he's one of the greatest on the court, but off the court, he can seem very, thin skinned, like, almost like Kevin Durant, like. And this is the type of stuff I believe he could address differently. I'm still looking for the footage where he said something disrespectful about Bronny. I think it's probably the video when he was talking about just shutting him down, let him go to the G League. I believe that's the clip that he was upset about. I don't know. But even that is like, it's not warranted to the point where he got to approach Stephen A in the middle of a game, go out of his way and pull up on him. Like, I get where he's coming from as far as a parent and just being somebody and being in the moment. But as far as being emotional and saying the things that he did, it was uncalled for and it was embarrassing.
Well, go ahead.
No, and that's pretty much it, because I just wish he would have handled it a different way. If he would have called him and had a meeting, that's a whole different story.
And that's what he said also, was that he could have called him. Rich Paul, he was like, Rich Paul is my phone number, his agent or whoever else. He named someone else that has phone number. He's like, I would have flown to LA and met with LeBron. We could have done this in person, but you decided. And like, I understand wanting to sometimes handle things face to face, but to do it, you can do that. Like you said, that could have been done without the media presence, because if you could tell by the look on his face, he wasn't happy. It was going viral.
and also, exactly. And I want to just add this in there too. I think it also have to do with a lot of his personal feelings towards Stephen A. What he's been saying about how pretty much Jordan's a GOAT and he's not. He's the second best player of all time. I think that has a lot to do with it as well, because you got to remember, LeBron James hears this stuff. He's very well connected into social media. He's very well connected into a lot of stuff that happens online and offline and even on television. He's very aware. And he's also somebody that likes to control the narrative. He likes to go out there and say things and do things so he can be the talk of the show, so he can be the forefront guy. And like I said, it's embarrassing because I know he did that on purpose. Because if he wanted to talk to Stephen A, he could have reached out to him, sent him a message, or called him on the phone. He could have reached him any different way. But he decided to, in a primetime game, a television game, pull up on Stephen A. Smith out of a timeout. That's crazy. I've never heard nothing like that in my life.
Yeah, and
oh, go ahead.
It just seems like, it seems like the most centered players. And what I mean when I say centered means like a lot of attention is on them. They always got to go that route with him. Because, Kevin Durant has done public things with Stephen A too. Maybe not to that degree, but stuff in the public has come out, including getting his damn mama involved. Like,
right.
She was on First Take after the Warriors won the first NBA title. Not him, her. That's all. Go ahead, R&B. What you were trying to say something before? I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, man, just to digress for one small second. I'm gonna go there. This is an issue in our society. This is kind of what happens when you have black men raised by women with no father in the household.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
And I'm not throwing any shots because hell,
it's true.
I'm one of those black men.
Me too.
I'm one of those black men shit. So, but this is kind of the effect that it can have. Having that type of mental, just that mental block of handling stuff like a man.
Right.
Right.
Very well said. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully they can resolve that. But, shortly after that, game later, LeBron sustained a groin injury against the Celtics. That game was what, last night? No, right?
Yes.
Last night.
And they're saying he's gonna be out a week or two. So he will be, I'm sure they'll pretty much, if they can, coddle him until the playoffs so that he's healthy. But this is a big loss because the Lakers with the trade were I think it was ESPN said they had the second best chance to go to the finals or the Western Conference Finals, which could still be true because they've been playing great ball. And, let's give a shout out to JJ Redick as well, for someone who has never coached, and to take that job, probably the highest scrutiny coaching job in the league, and do what he's supposed to do, at least to this point, give him credit for that. But this is a big loss, because Luka's just they seem to start getting the flow, and then this is like, whoa, pump your brakes. Can they keep the second place spot in the West without LeBron James? Because Luka said it's got to be the next man up mentality, which is true, but can they keep that second spot?
Well, it's easy to say stuff like next man up mentality when you're just talking about an average player going down.
Right.
Unfortunately, LeBron James is not an average player. So, and another thing about these groin injuries is that, they're saying 1 to 2 weeks, but it could be longer because one thing you don't want to do is rush him back from this groin injury and then have it irritated or get worse, because groin injuries sometimes it takes time for them to heal. It takes time for people to get over those type of injuries. We just seen James Harden struggle with one for like damn near seemed like about a year and a half. He was struggling with that groin injury because he rushed and came back too early. So I say keep him out as long as he needs and as long as you can afford within what he needs. But to say that they're going to still be able to hold down the second spot in the West while he's out, we'll have to see. I'll be honest, I don't believe that they will be able to do so, especially with Golden State ascending the way that they are, and then some of those other teams. Houston is taking a little bit of a drop off there. If you've been noticing, they've been kind of falling off. Memphis is Memphis. They've been playing some good ball, but they don't play defense well. So we'll see how that pans out. But I guess we'll have to see. But like I said, I personally don't think that they can. That's not an easy feat to accomplish with, just Luka trying to carry the whole thing by himself. Looks a lot like Dallas last year once Kyrie was hurt. Now this is the same situation almost. So we'll see.
Yeah, I second that. Also, you got to remember, like, I'm watching the game right now with Denver and Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, this is the second best team in the West. by far. I believe that the Lakers had an opportunity if LeBron was healthy, but at this point, it's pretty much a wrap until he can get healthy again because this team is not constructed to be world beaters. They can't go out there and beat the Oklahoma Cities of the world or even the teams like that you mentioned, the Golden State Warriors. They can't, beat them in a as far as like in a series. So they're probably going to be a team that's like middle of the pack, 4 or 5 seed, maybe a 6 seed, worst case scenario, which is fine because this team is actually still building its identity. Luka just came on in the middle of the season. So it's not like, they're looking for a championship run. But I would rest LeBron for as long as possible. Low key, I would shut him down for the season because he's 40. That groin injury is no joke.
That's too far, Raj.
Or-
Could you imagine the drop off that could come from him being out the remainder of the season? They could tremendously drop. This is a talented Lakers team with Luka and LeBron together surrounding it, right?
Right.
When you take one of those plugs out of the outlet,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's not the same type of power.
Which I understand, but you got to also remember that LeBron is on a 2-year deal, and the season ends in like what, next month, April.
Right.
So if you allow him, if you say, okay, let's say they keep him out for 3 weeks, right? He's going to come in the beginning of April. He's not going to be geared up to even play in the playoffs like that. I would shut him down for the season, let him see what happens in the playoffs. And if it doesn't work out, you just say, okay, we chalk that season up and let's run for a championship next season. Because to be quite honest, they're not going to beat OKC with a 75% LeBron coming back. It's not going to happen. And they're not going to beat Denver with a 75% LeBron coming back. They need LeBron 100%. So next season probably be the season for them to run and get that championship.
Yeah, but like you said, he's 40 years old. So, what I'm saying? We are, and that's another thing. I know we are kind of looking at the way he's playing and everything, and we're looking at it as an anomaly because he's 40 years old and he's doing the things that he's doing, but it kind of makes you forget that we have to remember he's 40 years old. So these things are not going to, you know, heal as fast. Things are not going to, take course as fast for him to be able to hop back on the court. I do
Right.
agree, but at the same time, they also have to look at the fact that he's 40 years old. This window is not going to be there too much longer for you to try to contend for a championship. And right now, you are a contender for a championship. So if they shut him down for the rest of the season and fall out of the top 5 or the top 3, what I'm saying? That does not bode well for the Lakers at all. And not only that, if let's say he does get back, like you said, the 75% or whatever, that doesn't bode well either. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So
Right.
go for the chip while you got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, because if you wait, like you said, 40 is 40. Just because he's playing freakishly well at 40 and he's the only one in his draft class still playing from what I read the other day, it's an issue. It's an issue, and you want to go all in while you can. Not a lot of people expected the Lakers to play this well with the trade. A lot of people thought it would hurt, but to this point, they've proven it has worked. But I want to kind of switch gears and talk about the other half of this trade. We know Kyrie Irving suffered an ACL tear. I think it was earlier this week or late last week. I can't remember when it happened, but Dallas, I believe, is going to shut down Anthony Davis. I read that they might. I think they should at this point. But this is a big blow for them. Do you think, and now, and when you look at the time of year this injury happened, Kyrie's probably bound to miss most of next season too, right?
Right.
This injury,
maybe a quarter.
This injury is typically a year injury, roughly, but maybe a little less. The ACL. So maybe he'll be back December, January at the earliest, right? But
Yeah, this
Dallas,
technology they have now is different.
yeah, that's true. But even when he comes back, he's not gonna be the same right away. Like, if
Yeah.
even if he can get back to that at all. But what does this mean for Dallas? Because when they made this trade, they believed Anthony Davis was the guy to help them win now. And now he's out. Now the other key piece of you winning now is out. So now you're not going to win this year. Probably not going to win next year. Where does this leave Dallas moving forward for their franchise, in your opinion? You go ahead, Raj. You take that one first.
Well, I'll keep it short and simple. Get ready to move to Vegas. Get ready to move to Vegas because it's over. It's a wrap. This franchise is disgusting. They turn their backs on their fans. They don't care about their players. Did you know that Kyrie was leading the NBA in minutes per game?
39.8. Yeah.
What are we doing?
What do you guys sent that the other day?
Yeah, I probably sent it, but my point is, like, you ran this guy into the ground. You knew this franchise was not trying to go in the direction of contending next year because you got rid of Luka. Number one. Number two, you brought on an injury-prone Anthony Davis, who's historically known for not staying on the court. So now you got to figure out, okay, what kind of youth players can we build around Kyrie? They brought in Max Christie. He's good, but now look at his run. He's not playing the same as he was in the first 5 games. Then you brought on, some other players as well, but they have no big man. They have no power forward. Everybody's banged up, and the franchise is going down, and it's on purpose because they want to move to Las Vegas. They do not want to stay in Dallas because the owners are trying to build a casino in Dallas, and they won't allow it in Texas. So they're trying to they're trying to get permission so they can move to Las Vegas. So I feel sorry for Kyrie, and I feel sorry for Anthony Davis, and I feel like this franchise is going to be one of those type of franchises, pretty much how the Knicks and Nets were for several decades. They're gonna go through a whole complete rebuild, and it's going to take a huge amount of time for them to get back to normal.
Go ahead, R&B. You look a little puzzled there.
I have a different sentiment when it comes to this whole thing with Dallas. Do I think that they're foolish for trading Luka? No doubt. I definitely you ain't gonna get no disagreements from me on that. But I personally I think they've set themselves up perfectly to contend for a championship within the next 2 to 3 years. Think about it. You trade Luka, right? Dumb move, but you do get back a world beater talent in Anthony Davis. So you pretty much kind of banking on Kyrie and AD to be your big two, right?
Right.
Then you still got Klay Thompson over there. You still got Daniel Gafford. You still got Derek Lively. You still got
PJ
David
Washington.
Washington Jr. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You still got some pieces over there that if this team is and I gotta remind to put a caveat on that. If this team is healthy, you banking on them being healthy, this team can contend for a championship. And we'd be foolish to think not. A healthy Kyrie Irving and a healthy Anthony Davis, along with a healthy and Kelly Thompson and all of the other pieces to go along, you'll probably go in the draft again this year and try to get some more young talent out of the draft this year. Maybe see what they do in free agency at the end of the season. I think they've set up perfectly to contend for a championship over the next 2 to 3 years, with the caveat being
If
Anthony Davis
healthy.
and Kyrie Irving being able to stay healthy. So
Mm-hmm.
so I kind of look at it a little bit different, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to uh just the overall look of how things look for them now that they've traded Luka. Now it is a black cloud with the injuries since the trade though. With Anthony Davis having the groin injury. Ain't it some crazy shit that AD go down with a groin injury, and now a week later or a couple weeks later, LeBron now going down with a groin injury.
Exactly.
Then Kyrie get hurt. If Luka get hurt, I'm gonna be like, man, what the fuck? Like,
It was
if
cursed.
Luka go
That
down,
trade was
I'm like,
cursed.
something about that trade wasn't right. So, but man, I think they've set themselves up to contend for a championship within the next 2 to 3 years.
Right.
And that's all I'm giving it, because I know that AD is like, what, 30, I think he's 32, 33?
Yeah,
maybe
something like that.
34.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving is in his 30s, Clay's in his 30s, so you know what I'm saying? But I think they all can contend when healthy with the young talent that they got around.
Right.
I agree. I think they're in a position to where they can still compete, still contend. They get healthy. They're definitely on a roll. They can definitely get a roll. Definitely hit a stride, and definitely make some noise and compete. Especially the way the league changes, the trades and everything. So, and how people move around, and as we see now and learn this season, no one is safe. No one at all. So it's
It's
going to
true.
be interesting to see where that goes. So I do have a couple more NBA topics, but I want to flip over to some NFL topics that are that kind of can't be ignored. Cincinnati Bengals. If Fail Fest was in the dictionary right now, I would put their logo next to it.
Fell Fest. Okay.
For two reasons. Now, we know the reality is you ain't going to be able to pay Higgins and pay Chase. We know this. So, because obviously they have valued Chase over Higgins, which is the right thing. Chase is the better receiver. Part of that's due to Higgins being on the field, but Chase and Burrow have that connection, right? You tagged Higgins. I think he's going to make $26.62 million this season. But Jamar Chase went out and said that they're very far apart from a deal. Now, I forget which one of you gentlemen said it last week, that this is the Bengals' fault because they didn't pay Chase last year.
Yep.
Now he went out and balled the hell out, got that triple crown,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's put you in a position to where you had to tag Higgins because they both want their money.
Yep.
Now Higgins is going to be pissed. I haven't seen that he signed it or hasn't signed it. Never said that he was or wasn't. But this is going to be a problem because you were looking at, and this is highly unlikely, but there's always a chance. Anything's possible. There's a chance you lose both guys at some point in time. Then what?
They're going to be able to re-sign both of them.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to be able to re-sign Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And the reason being is because Trey Hendrickson, the defensive end, has just requested a trade this past week. And they have given him permission to go out and seek for a trade partner to be able to make a deal happen. So with them trading, if this happens, with them trading him and not re-signing him, this now opens up the door for them to be able to sign Jamar Chase to a big deal and also give T. Higgins an extension on a solid deal as well. So I think the way that Bengals are going to look at it, and this is just me speculating here, I think the way that they're looking at it is saying, why would we sit up and pay, our best defender in Hendrickson, what I'm saying, a big contract to still be a shitty ass defense? You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
he's got all the sacks and everything like that, but his sacks are not equating to the defense winning and to the team winning. So it's like, why would we give him a big deal to still be a 30 to 32nd ranked defense. We might as well just go ahead, let him get a trade suitor, trade him, sign our big wide receivers, and try to outscore everybody. Like I said, this is just me speculating, but I think that's the route that they may be going. They may be looking to just sign both receivers and see if they can just outscore people and not really worry about the defensive side of the ball like that.
Well, because it's wasted money. It's wasted money at that point. I'm sorry, Raj.
No, it's all good.
If you're gonna just, why am I gonna give you all this money to still be mediocre? You know, Max Crosby just robbed the Raiders. Well, less than mediocre, horrible, awful, terrible.
Well, I will say the Raiders defense, the Raiders defense isn't as bad as nowhere near as bad as the Bengals. It's really the Raiders offense that sucks ass.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Go ahead, Raj.
No, I was going to say, man, in the words of Stonekeeper from from Infinity Wars, right? He said, in order for you to take a stone, you must lose that which you love, a soul for a soul. Let me tell you something. If they pay Jamar Chase, which they are, $40 million, which I believe he's asking for, right? That defense is going to be horrendous because they're not going to have enough money to finance the defense. And that's the problem. They're so offensive centric that they don't have any plans on fixing the defense. That's the reason why they did so terrible last season, because they didn't fix the defense. I've watched so many games where Joe Burrow pretty much threw his arm out, put up numbers, but they couldn't stop the defense at all. And that put him in a worse situation. So I think Jamar Chase, in my personal opinion, I think Jamar Chase eventually gets the money, but eventually asks for a trade a year later, because that team is going to be impoverished when it comes down to the defensive side. This team is not going to be able to even get back to the playoffs if they don't fix that problem, because the AFC is loaded. They got so much talent there that it's like, who's next up to go to not even a Patrick Mahomes Invitational? Who's next up to get to the freaking wild card? That's how much the AFC is like stacked. So I don't know how it's going to play out. I think he's going to get the deal. I also think that the team is going to put up insane numbers. But as far as winning goes, it's going to be very hard to win in the AFC.
This might be the first time we see one of the greatest offenses put up record-breaking numbers along with one of the worst defenses putting up record-breaking terrible numbers.
Yes.
It happened with the Cincinnati Bengals this year.
Yeah, I agree. Because you know what? They almost did it this year. If everybody was healthy.
They also need to fix that offensive line too, my God.
Oh, that line is terrible.
That was
that line is terrible.
Because the line got awful. Defense got awful.
Yeah.
And without those two things fixed, if Joe Burrow and the offense score 45 points, don't mean shit if your defense allows 46.
Yeah, that's what happens. That's what ended up happening.
They lose a lot of close games.
Yep.
Mainly due because their defense can't hold water.
And you got to worry about the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs. You know, Texans going to be doing their thing next season. This AFC is crazy.
Oh yeah. And that
still got to see what moves Pittsburgh might make, or still got to see what the Browns could do.
Yeah,
so they just re-signed Myles Garrett to a new mega deal.
Yeah,
keeping him in town. I mean, you just like you said, you never know. The AFC got not only some teams, but some players that could lead teams to be better next year. So
yeah, they got to fix that. I don't know what they got to do. They got to trade some people, you know, whatever. But this is going to be a bad season for Cincinnati if they don't fix it.
And an even worse season for their fans.
Facts.
But I'm all right with that. They can keep failing. No complaints from me. So, overtime in the playoffs. I'm reading that NFL wants to set it up or have a discussion about setting it up where when we have overtime in the playoffs, you know how you get down? If you score a touchdown, game's over. It's a wrap, right?
Right.
They want to change it to where both teams have a chance to possess the ball. Meaning, first team gets a touchdown, then they answer with a touchdown, then it's sudden death. The players.
Oh,
I thought that's what
players
it already was. Though.
yeah.
Say that again.
I thought that's what it already was after the whole.
I think it is.
And Allen.
No. How it works now, if you go down and the team scores a field goal, you get a chance. And if you answer with a field goal, next score wins no matter what. But if the first team goes down and gets a touchdown, the game's over. They changed it because it used to be the first team that scored. Like if you went down and kicked the field goal, game was over. The only way it ends right away is on a safety or I think like a pick six. I think that's the only way it ends like right away. So like if you get the ball and throw a pick six, the game's done. Or if you get safety, the game's over. But if you go down and score a field goal, the other team gets a chance to at least match it. Then it's sudden death. What they don't like is if that team goes down and scores a touchdown, the game's over. They think that they should have a chance to possess the ball to match the touchdown. Then it's sudden death. So I'm going to go first on this one because this pisses me off. It aggravates me. Stop acting like fucking prima donnas. Like, tell your defense, if you didn't win the coin toss, stiffen the fuck up and defend the other team who has the ball. I know you're tired. I get it. But you got a job to do. And your job is to stop them from getting any points or holding them to 3 points. We don't need all these rule changes and extending these games. You know, they've already at that point played 60 minutes, overtime's 10 minutes. You know, like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then, in my opinion, you do that and you increase the chances for ties. And I hate ties. Playoff game. I'm sorry. It's just the playoffs. They can't have a tie. I'm sorry.
No.
So now you're looking at, like, I remember when the Ravens won the Super Bowl with Flacco, we had a double overtime game. Like,
yeah, you know, I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? So I just don't like it. Like they changed the rules for you guys. And I think that was a fair change. That you now you have an opportunity, but your defense needs to take advantage and be opportunistic. Like, what are we doing? Why change everything? I just don't like it. It aggravates me. What do you guys take on it?
You go down, B.
I really think I kind of share the same sentiment as Mike, man. It's just, you know, I get the whole field goal shit. I'm cool with that, but now with the whole we should have a chance to match a touchdown, it just begins to become too much. It's like he said, you know, if your team don't win the ball, defense need to step up. It's a team game. It's 3 phases to this: defense, special teams, and offense. So if your team don't win the ball, then hey, special teams, do your best to get them inside that 20. Defense, step up, shut them down, give us a chance. If defense don't do that, if special teams don't do that, sayonara. It's as simple as that, man. See you next year.
Yeah.
Can't keep crying about it every time something, you know, doesn't go your way, now it's time to cry to get a new rule. Oh, we didn't get a chance to match a touchdown. We should be able to know. Defense should have did their job. It just we got to get out of this hole. Every time something don't go our way, it's a new thing to cry about, man.
Yeah.
This a baby mentality, man. Cry baby bitches. That's what I call it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with y'all, man. I mean, it's disgusting how many times they try to change up the rules because it takes away from the game. It's like, look, if you keep changing the rules, then people aren't going to appreciate how the game is played. Like if you go and say, okay, it's a touchdown and then another touchdown, like you said, it can potentially end up in a tie or it ends up being a field goal competition. Like this is crazy. Stop.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Let them just play the game. Like you said, there's different facets of the game, which is offense, special team, and defense. So figure it out. If the team can't stop them, that's your fault. Game over. Leave it alone.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because it's like, what are you gonna do? Now if the offense start crying, oh, we scored a touchdown and they got a chance to go and they scored and then they won, we feel like we had it won.
Because we scored first.
It's not gonna be another rule change. Well, we gonna go back to the way that it was before because they cried. Like leave I always say this. Leave tradition alone sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes things are just right the way that they already are. No need to try to change everything and try to make everything something new. Some things are just perfect the way they are.
Yeah.
Leave tradition alone.
Leave and let live sometimes. No point in changing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
You know? So I really hate to bring this up. But I seen this earlier.
Mike, we're not doing this, man.
I seen it, and we have to talk about it.
No.
Rumor has it. The Vikings are out.
On.
The Vikings are out on Sam Darnold. And the speculation now is that a certain someone is going to follow the same direction of his successor or of who came before him. There's really
the guy that he called grandpa.
So the ever so fraudulent Aaron Rodgers.
Man, the disrespect.
That and end his career where Brett Favre did with the Vikings.
First of all, it's rumored that the Giants are the number one favorite to land Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. they got a draft pick. I just read before we came on. That ain't a done deal.
Oh man.
I said rumored.
Yeah, he did say rumor. Oh, that shit's too funny. Oh.
If he go to Minnesota, I'm not buying that.
Yes, you are.
My wife said he's got to sell his house.
Huh?
My wife said he's got to sell his house if he goes to Minnesota.
Well, that's the whole room. That's the whole reason that they're talking about the whole rumor with the Giants is that for one, they say the Giants are clamoring for a veteran quarterback, and outside of that, they feel like he's a perfect fit because he's already there in New Jersey. He wouldn't have to sell his house and do all of that extra. Got to move shit, save some money this year, and just basically stay in the same stadium, transfer to a different team.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The Jets are better in every facet of a team. Like every facet. Like when I mean like talent-wise. Like they were supposed to have this great defense. They had the wide receivers, the running backs. What the hell do the Giants have that's going to make them better with Aaron Rodgers?
Well, let me ask you this: what was the Jets' record last year?
It was horrible.
What was the Giants' record?
2 wins? I don't even remember. I don't know. Once we get to the end of the season, we kind of don't really pay attention to everyone else.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So
Hold on. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm just pulling it up.
what I'm telling you is that for one, that defense was not what it was last year, what it had been in years previous, as far as with the Jets. I don't
Jets, hold
disagree
on
with
real
you.
quick.
Mhm.
Jets were 5-12, and the Giants were 3-14.
Yeah.
Exactly. 2 more wins. That's it. With all of this so-called talent. So I don't think that they're expecting to get Aaron Rodgers and go to a Super Bowl. I think he's definitely, if he ends up a Giant, I think it's just a bridge situation. They're hoping to maybe get a year, maybe 2 if he decides of quarterback play out of him. I'm telling you what this is. Brian Daboll and that GM with the Giants, they're basically competing for their jobs this year. So it's really a blessing damn near that they didn't get fired this offseason with how bad the Giants were and all this whole debacle since Saquon and all of this shit, man. It's I don't even understand how they both still have a job. But I think they're both contending for their jobs this year, and that's why they want to try to get a veteran quarterback. That's where they're trying so hard to get Aaron Rodgers because they feel like he can maybe come and bridge a situation enough that can save them to get over into a new regime as far as maybe a young quarterback and so on and so forth.
From that circumstance, I understand. I won't disagree with that. As long as that's the circumstance we're looking at. What were you going to say, Rod? You look like you're ready to say something. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna say that Aaron Rodgers had the potential to do the most funniest troll move in the history of the NFL
And what's that?
and go to the freaking Vikings. That is the most funniest thing. I mean, that is hilarious because he literally followed, uh, Brett Favre's career. You know, he took the whole thing out of his playbook. How he's going to play his whole career. He's going to play in Green Bay. He's going to go to the Jets, and then he's going to go to the Vikings to retire. If he does that, that is the funniest troll move in the history of the NFL because he really didn't like him. Brett Favre, that is, he didn't really like Brett Favre. Brett Favre didn't like Aaron Rodgers when he came in. And the fact that he's ended his career the same way he did, it's genius. I hope that it happens.
It would be just as funny of a troll move to see him go to the Giants and do better with the Giants than he did with the Jets. How much would that hurt, New Jersey boy?
Yeah, well, that to me would make me feel like that would be like a stab. That would be like a stab in the heart, man. Because you know what, we don't want to see that. As a Jets fan, I don't want to see that. I feel like he would do that on purpose. But I would laugh if he would have went if he goes to the Vikings. I think that's funny.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
I thought you was about to say if he was successful with the Giants, I was about to say you a damn lie. You ain't gonna.
Oh hell no, no. I ain't going. No, I don't want to even see him play if he plays with the Giants. So
I don't care where he goes. Just stay away from my Steelers, homie.
Well, then again,
Steve be clamoring for him.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith.
Your sorry ass team.
He's a bad man.
I wouldn't watch one game. You got a better chance at me going to a Kendrick Lamar and Taylor Swift concert.
Oh no, we're not doing this.
Oh, we just did.
We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
We just did. Listen, I got flack earlier. I got flack earlier because today's the day Biggie died. I got a Tupac shirt on. People, why are you looking at me like that?
Because, man, why the hell would you do that?
Because I don't listen. That's another talk for another day. I don't fuck with Biggie like that.
And I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Matter of fact, there he is, right there.
Yeah. live from the motherfucking West Side. Side.
Wow. Wow.
Oh
Wow.
man. So we got a little bit under a half hour left. So we're gonna flip back to the NBA. So we just seen OKC in Denver. So I'm gonna ask you a simple question: MVP, the Joker or SGA?
Shay, man. Shay. And it's not voter fatigue. Don't get me wrong, Joker is definitely number 2 right now in the competition. And if somehow he can wheel Denver to where they fuck around and get that number 1 seed and they're able to knock OKC out of it, but judging off of this game that just happened, that's not gonna happen. I would go Joker, but right now I'm giving it to the number 1 player on the number 1 team in the entire league, not just the Western Conference, the entire league. SGA right now is the MVP of the league.
So
And he's
we
doing it
got
on both sides of the floor. Because I know what Rod's about to try to do, so let me get that in there. Both sides of the floor are being played.
So before I let him go, because I know he wants to talk about the triple double as well. So I'm gonna just let him have the Joker's the greatest center and soliloquy that he gonna go on because we know it's coming.
Yeah,
we know it's coming.
we know it's coming.
I will
1
say
ring and
that
no defense.
Joker is number 2, but in terms of full totality in the game itself, I mean SGA. They're playing. He's playing real good ball. OKC as a collective is playing real good ball, but he's balling.
Nah, Mike, nah, I'm not gonna let you do that.
What?
SGA and OKC are not playing real good ball. They're playing great ball. And Joker is too, by the way. Joker is too. But OKC and SGA are playing great ball, not pretty good.
I said really good, not pretty good. I said
Not really good either. Neither one of them.
I won't.
Get it right.
You listen, we've in this time and instance in life, we've lowered our standards for good and great. So, like to me, I don't know. I give them their due. I ain't taking away from them, but I can't say great. That's just me. My standards are just very high. Very high.
Hold on. I'm not trying to hold Raj up, but how
I think
can
you
sit
are.
up and say something so foolish? Because I gotta address this. This has to be addressed. Do you understand? And this is coming from a Kobe guy, a traditional lover. Do you understand what SGA is doing right now? He's shooting 50% from the field.
Yeah,
That's
two
unheard
for
of.
11 on 3 today ain't real good though. Just saying.
But we're talking about the totality and overall of the season. The totality and overall of the season, which he shot 15 to 32 for 40 points. You only pointed out that one stat. Overall, 15 for 32 for 40 points. That's just under his average of what he's doing this year, which is shooting 50% from the field.
But
That's great. That's not pretty good. He's one of the most efficient good shot takers in the league. Let me stop because I'm gonna put the shovel up. I'm gonna put the shovel up because I don't want you to keep digging this dirt, digging yourself.
There's no shovel, John Cena. There's no shovel here. There's no shovel here. Because in order for me to believe greatness, you were first place in the Western Conference last year. He didn't finish the job.
Hello.
Finish the job.
Yeah, he didn't.
Hello.
Finish the job. Because listen, this is one of those gray areas. I'm a firm believer in like the regular season mattering, but it matters for playoff placement. That's why I say it matters. Now I don't care overall what you're doing. I want to see SGA and that team finish the job.
I do too. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that what he's doing right now is great within this season. Is greatness within this season. But I don't disagree. I do want to see the greatness transfer over to the playoffs and him get the job done. But the playoffs in the season, though one is a prerequisite to get to the other,
Right.
it still matters. And it's still, something that's happening, and it's great.
You gotta have to see. I gotta see some more. I like SGA
I
though.
don't disagree. I don't disagree. I like them too.
I like SGA. So, all right, Raj has been patiently waiting.
It's all good, and rightfully so. Because I let y'all get y'all points across. Because I'm about to annihilate this whole situation. First and foremost, let me just give kudos to SGA. I think he's the best point guard in the league right now.
Oh,
okay?
I thought you were gonna say ever. I was about my heart was dropping.
No. I'm not gonna throw the hyperboles out there like that. I'm gonna just keep it real.
He's a two guard.
He's a hybrid. He's a Kyrie type. But all right, how about this? Best guard in the league. He's the best guard in the league right now.
I can give you that.
However, he is not the best player in the league. My man, Nikola Jokic, is the damn best player we have ever witnessed since.
Trying to move the goalposts. We
No.
didn't say best player. We said MVP.
I know that, but this is why I'm saying who's the MVP. The MVP is the best damn player we have seen since Wilt Chamberlain. Okay? Let me just tell you what he did in the last 10 games. The last 10 games. We're not going to even count all what he did this season. 25, 14, 11, 1.8 steals a game, and a block a game. So you talking about playing on both sides? He's playing on every side. He's playing on all four sides. He's playing on the offensive side. He's playing on the defensive side. He's a better point guard than SGA. He's a better rebounder than SGA. He's a better shooter than SGA because he's shooting 50%, 58% to be exact from the field. 58%, okay? And that's fine. That's
something damn near every year.
That's fine. But you know what? He's also not a free throw merchant like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That dude's at that free throw line more than anybody in the NBA.
Most guards are. Most great or good guards are.
So my point is, if we're going to stat pat, we got to look at how many times he gets to that free throw line and how the narrative is he's the best player in the league. But yet, Jokic is putting up historical numbers. You seen what he did. He gave them.
Who said that SGA was the best player in the league, Raj?
Everybody's saying that.
You don't have to be the best player to be the MVP.
Okay.
If you really want to know the truth, LeBron still got an argument for being the best player in the league, but he's not the MVP.
Well, everyone's saying that he is the MVP and also the best player in the league on television. They're saying that, not me. I'm not, because I'm looking at the raw numbers and I'm looking at the actual game. And what we see
clips after this show. I need clips because I haven't been seeing that. I've been seeing people say SGA is the MVP, but I still see a lot of people say that Joker is the best player in the league. They think Anthony Edwards is the face. Some say Wemby is going to be the face, and I'm seeing that SGA is the MVP. That's what I've been seeing.
I'll find the clips for you.
If you got a different ESPN than I do, let me know so I can try to see if I can order that.
I don't know. It might be on ESPN. It might be on ESPN3. It might be on ESPN3, but I definitely heard it. But look, my point is this. Jokic, 45, 31, 21. Remember those numbers, guys. Until someone breaks that, I don't want to hear the SGA is the MVP. Because if they do not have Nikola Jokic as the MVP, ladies and gentlemen, we are witnessing the biggest robbery in NBA history. Because they are telling everybody that it's not voters fatigue, but yet it's voters fatigue because this dude won last year and he should have won the year before that too. So I just want to throw that out there. He should have won for the past 3 years straight. He should have won.
Doesn't Jokic have 3 MVPs already now?
Yes, so he should have 4. He should have 4.
And he won last year. Who won the year before that?
That was Embiid. He should have won the year Embiid got it.
No, he shouldn't have.
Yes, he should have, because he was putting up these historical numbers, and everybody pretended that they didn't have voters fatigue.
And Embiid was playing way better on the defensive side of the end, on the fifth floor.
Embiid was hobbled.
If Embiid was healthy, as Joker is, then all of this Joker shit you be trying to throw around and spew would not be flying, because he would be putting up some of the same historical numbers, because he's just as good, if not better, because he's a way better defender. He just don't have the healthy knees that Joker got.
And what was your quote? If was fifths, we all be drunk. Well, damn it, we'll be seeing a freaking rehab at this point, because Embiid is not that dude. He's too busy eating McDonald's. He's not worried. He's not focused on his health, and he likes to troll.
Your boy out of shape too. Your boy be out of shape too. If he played for Dallas, he'd have traded his ass too.
But he's in shape enough to play. See, that's the thing. He's in playing shape. Embiid don't even touch the court. So my point is, this is the greatest center we have ever seen. I think they both weigh the same.
So you saying
no, I'm just saying overall, Joker just a big boy. I wasn't saying that,
that's
the advantage over Embiid. Hell yeah, they both big as hell.
Yeah.
If the Joker were to go up against Prime Shaq, he would take Prime Shaq.
See, you put it in a stance where it's like it's a one-on-one situation. Of course, it's going to be a different type of game if it's one-on-one.
I'm just saying. But I'm just saying in general.
In general. Are you talking about like team wise?
I'm saying in a team game, you're gonna take the Joker over Prime.
Yes,
Shaq.
Absolutely, because he's out rebounding Shaq, he's out scoring Shaq, and he's getting assists, and he's blocking, and he's getting steals.
Early 2000s Shaq.
Yes,
36 points, 18
all that
rebounds
stuff.
or 16 rebounds.
Okay, and I just told you guys. In the past 10 games, 25, 14, and 12. And then you got to add in that 1.8 steals and that block.
So, Raj, what if I told you
hold on. Did they change the rules of the game because of Nikola Jokic?
No, they changed the rules because of Nikola Jokic.
He's benefiting from the change
of the game for Shaquille O'Neal.
Okay.
The Joker's benefiting from.
Yes.
Which is true. He is benefiting from it because he's a center that's benefiting from it. But okay, go ahead.
They changed the rules for Shaq. Shaq is one of the most dominant forces ever. Like not even at his position ever in any sport for that matter. Jokic hasn't done anything to even reach something of that echelon, to even put him there as a top 5 center, top 10 center.
All right, listen to this.
No, I think that's a little preposterous there, Mike. I definitely think what Joker has done up until now puts him in the argument to be a top 10, possibly top 5 center. But what I will say though is that I feel like he is benefiting from an era that he's playing in right now where he's the best center because there's no fucking centers. Name centers. There's no centers. If to Mike's point, if you take Joker and you put him back, and I know this is all kind of like, hypothetical and shit like that, but if you take Joker and you put him back in an era where you had centers like Shaq and all of these other guys, Tim Duncan, true bigs that he would have had to match up against. I'm not saying that he's not good, but I don't think we see the same greatness out of him that we see in this era where there's nobody on his level. None of these centers are good. He's matching up against dudes who are the size of Kevin Durant, but don't have Kevin Durant skill at all. These 7-footers that shaped like Kevin Durant, that all these Derek Lively's and like this is what he going up against. He's not going up against no Shaqs, no Tim Duncans, no Rick Smiths, no Dikembe Mutombos, and none of them type of. He's not going up against none of that type of shit.
So that's like saying that Jordan didn't go up against any guards that's on the level of these guards of today.
Jordan did, but we know Jordan did go up against some great guards. Clyde Drexler, Gary Payton, just to
Yeah,
name a couple.
but what I'm saying is
Dumars, Isaiah Thomas.
we got to look at it for what it is, guys. We have never seen a center put up the type of numbers that Jokic is putting up on a nightly basis. And on top of that,
modern day we have.
And on top of that, right, we're talking about he equating for almost 40 points a game, 25 points and 12 assists. That's 37 total points. That's almost damn near 40 points by himself. So if that's like saying that, okay, guys, I just need y'all to score 60 for the night. I'm going to help y'all score 40. I'm going to put up 25, and I'm going to give y'all 12 assists. That's what type of power and that's what type of influence that Jokic have every single night. There's people who don't even touch or even sniff 30 points a night. So what I'm saying is we got to look at it for what it is. He's not playing just one type of game. He's playing an all-around game. He's getting the buckets. He's getting the rebounds. He's getting the assists. He gives you a couple steals. He gives you a couple blocks every single night. He's the best player, best big man of all time. And he's the best player, and he's an MVP of the season.
We cannot say he is not the best big man of all time. He has more to do to fill that resume sheet in order to call him that. I'm sorry. You need more accolades. You can't just be a stat stuffer and think we gonna say, "Oh, you the best big man of all time." No, you got.
But he won. He got the MVPs.
More accolades along with those stats in the form of shiny little ring fingers.
He's going to, I'll put it to you this way. By the end of his career, regardless how many rings, how many championship rings he get, because he already got one, he's going to go down with statistical numbers close to LeBron James.
If he stays on this trajectory that he's on
yes.
right now, yeah, I don't disagree with you on that.
And low-key might eclipse LeBron James in certain categories. He's top 3 in every category I just mentioned. Top 3 in assists, top 3 in rebounds, top 3 in points. How is he not the MVP?
He's just not, man. He's not.
They're going to look at this year.
This is SGA.
It's because he's white.
Man, let me say it, but goddamn it, there you go. This right. Well, I didn't want to say it, but you brought it up to me.
SGA's Canadian, bro.
White boy win MVP, SGA for MVP, goddamn it. We already in this country.
Every week you get on me comments and you let that one go.
I'm glad he said it before I did. SGA might be Canadian, but he's a black Canadian. Scattered 4 parts of the earth. You better do some history and research. He's our people. Joker is not.
Oh, man. Shout out to everybody, man. I had to wait until Mike was eating for me to say it. Oh, man.
Just being real, though. Just being real, you can go either way. Because what they're both accomplishing, we
never seen before.
Greatness within the season. And you could go either way, but I just favor SGA because, like I said, number one player on the number one team in the league. He's making everybody better. He's got this team going, man. He's got this team going, and they're deep. They're deep.
No, they're the best team. They're the best team in the league. They're the best team in the league. Period. You're right. You're definitely right about that because they smacked up Denver. I wasn't expecting that.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's the same thing. Like I agree, you can go either way with it. There's really no wrong answer, but maybe they won't have voters fatigue, but that voters fatigue's real. But in this case, even if you want to look at it that way, at least they would give it to someone who's worthy of that. You're not just at least someone who you can say like, yo, he did what he was supposed to do this season.
Right.
So I guess we'll end talking about y'all want to talk about KD and the Suns or Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, and the Warriors?
I think we can blend them.
Yeah.
All right. So
I
I'm gonna
even make
start
it quick.
what?
I'll make it quick. KD and the Suns suck. He's gonna be out of there this off season. And since Jimmy Butler has got the Golden State, they're looking up. And with the injury to LeBron, beware. And that's all I got to say about it.
Well, I wanted to say also on top of that, Kevin Durant and the coach there, Mike Budenholzer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they had a heated exchange last week or this week, and I think it's over. The Suns are.
I wouldn't play too much into that though.
Nah, it happens all the time.
I'm about to say it was just sideline shit that the cameras just had open and caught it.
I mean, I wouldn't, but it's Kevin Durant, so I'm not going to give him any leverage on anything in life. So
say another one of these fatherless fickles like us.
Nah, for real. But he's the worst though. He's so thin-skinned, bro. He's annoying.
It's just like I think that he's out of there. It's gonna be a wrap for him. I wanted to talk about Curry because I think he's either close or past the record for 4,000 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he passed it.
And then because I know he was 25 threes away at some point. I don't remember when I read that. But congrats to him. And think about if he didn't miss all that time with his bum ankle, how far ahead he would have been of the curve, And Jimmy Butler, for someone who originally didn't want to go to the Warriors, he's balling. They're 11-1 since he got there, and you never know. They might make a serious run. Buddy Hield's playing pretty good ball. Seems like they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Warriors team is the hottest team in the West right now. As far as like record wise, like you said, 11-1 since Jimmy Butler joined. Jimmy Butler adds that new dynamic where he could pretty much do everything. And it just fits perfect with the system. And it spreads out Steph Curry and it allows Draymond to be Draymond again. Because remember, when Draymond was just playing along with Steph, he didn't have opportunity to play defense and facilitate the way he normally does with Clay. So I think this team is better fit with Jimmy more than anybody, more especially with Andrew Wiggins. Because for some reason, Andrew Wiggins, man, he's just not that dude. I mean,
he don't have that aggression in him.
Something's missing. Yeah, something's missing. Yeah, and I feel like Jimmy, he was, especially with his caliber of play and also his pedigree. Because he's a very strong-willed person. We remember how he got kicked out basically of Minnesota because of how strong-willed he was. I believe this team is going to be better with him, and I hope that they find that extra shooter. I know Buddy Hield's doing good right now, but I think they need that last piece to get him over the hump to get to the championship.
They need a big man, in my opinion. They need big man help.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, I think they're missing that legit big man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're just about on 4:00. We consolidated a little bit today due to other arrangements. Hopefully next week we will be on be able to stream from the network. I just didn't have the time to figure it out. But is there anything else you guys want to cover before we get out of here?
Real quick, it's March Madness. Make sure y'all check out those NCAA games, women, men's. It's going to be an exciting month. So make sure you guys check it out. We'll definitely talk about it next week.
Yeah. Real quick for me too, I just got a special PSA for Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions. PSA. Get a fucking pass rusher in here opposite Aiden Hutchinson. Okay, we see Myles Garrett already got locked up on this deal, so it could be a bluff, but it don't look like he's gonna be able to be traded. So that leaves us Bosa,
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Mack,
Mm-hmm.
or Hendrickson. We need one of those three, Brad Holmes, in order to try to make this Super Bowl push next year. And to end it, God damn it, you got to pay Hutch right now. Pay attention to what's going on around the league. Do not wait till next year to pay Hutch. Pay him now while he's getting ready to come back off this broken leg. Because you see the deal that Max Crosby just got. You see the deal that Myles Garrett just got. If you let this man come back and win Defensive Player of the Year or play out of his mind and outplay either one of those two and have to pay him next year, we are fucked.
Yeah.
Pay him now while the price is low. And I'm done with it.
Yeah. That's real right there.
Yeah. Well, we will be back next Sunday, I believe 10 a.m., hopefully over from the network. So everyone be safe, have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.